Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
I'm appalled at what you said on that pod thing. It's disgusting.
This is the After the Show podcast. It's where we get honest and real with yo ass. So sit back, relax, have a blast, cause it's time for the After the Show podcast.
Yeah, here we go. Welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. Just wanted to give you a programming note that we will be doing the podcast at 11 tomorrow, but then back on Monday, we're going to be starting it again at 10. So we are going to stop doing that extra hour of the KVJ show starting on Monday. So we'll be on the regular 6 to 10, which for a lot of us is like, hey, that's a sign that life is getting back to normal. So there's many signs that we are coming out of the pandemic woods to some extent.
And in a month, if we go back to 11, you know shit's gone down again.
That's right. Yes. So that'll be tomorrow's show. We'll go until 11 on the radio, and then we'll start the podcast live on YouTube and Facebook at 11 a.m. But then starting on Monday, it goes back to 10.
We'll do it live.
Yeah, just to let everybody know. Well, I got a lot of your emails. Always try to get to your comments. That's what the After the Show podcast is all about. Everybody's included in the conversation. If there's something that we didn't get to or get to enough, then we'll deal with it here on the After the Show. Cheryl had this comment about Drew Brees, Virginia's favorite quarterback. He's quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. She said, this morning I was reading the news on CNN about a comment that Drew Brees made during an interview. He says that he would never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag. And is everything right with our country right now? No, it's not. We still have a long way to go, but I think what you do by standing there and showing respect to the flag with your hand over your heart is it shows unity. It shows that we're all in this together. We can all do better, and that we are all a part of the solution. Cheryl says, I'm not exactly sure what he said wrong, but he was called out by others. He ended up apologizing for his comment. I have not made any posts or comments about these events because Kevin said it right. It is a tightrope to walk. I was wondering your thoughts on Drew Brees' comments. I hope that the New Orleans Saints will sit down and have a conversation, and this will open it up. And Michael Thomas was the first one to jump on this. And then Malcolm Jenkins, who was the second to jump on this. Two people I know well because they're former Buckeyes. And they did not like Drew Brees' comments. And they went to social media, and then, of course, it just got, discussed and was going all through everything else. Now, Drew Brees does a lot of great things for his community. He's done a lot of amazing things. And there are a lot of people that don't understand this. And Colin Kaepernick has been a very divisive figure that has happened. But I hope that they sit down and they have a discussion about it to try to understand. And I will tell you personally, for me, that my own feelings have shifted a little bit just by having conversations and trying to go into this conversation with an open mind to say, okay, what do you see? Because I, like Drew Brees, I come from a military family. A lot of my family has all served in the military, and so we are very big on that. We're very big on patriotism and the flag and all this kind of stuff. So,
and looking at it like a veterans thing.
Yes, my dad's a veteran, my whole family. So everywhere you go, it's American flags all over the place, and very love the patriotism in USA and all that kind of good stuff. So when all this stuff went down, I saw what Colin Kaepernick was doing, and you're thinking, okay, he's trying to disrespect America? Is this a slight on the flag? This is a slight on all the people who have fought and died for this country. And what turned me around a little bit, and you can show it, I think I've retweeted it, is there was a discussion that had happened. A Marine reached out to Colin Kaepernick because he started by sitting on the bench during the anthem. And he was having a face-to-face with Colin Kaepernick, and a buddy of his had sent him a message and said, you know what, that is just like pissing on the flag to me. And that is pissing in the faces of all these people who have died to give you all these freedoms. And the person was offended, and he was showing Colin Kaepernick, and Colin Kaepernick was like, you know what, that's really not my intention. He said, I'm trying to bring awareness to some of the social injustices that are happening still in this country. And this is the time when I know people will pay attention, and I want this dialogue to happen because I feel like it just gets ignored. And so this Marine suggested to him after they had a conversation, and he said that it is customary for us to kneel in respect when you're at a gravesite or if you want to show reverence to somebody. So he suggested to Colin Kaepernick to take a knee and to kneel in reverence to the flag and to all the people who've died for it, but also to make a statement about social injustice. And not to say that'll work for everybody, but when I heard that, it helped me to understand the situation a little bit more. Now, I know Colin Kaepernick, for wearing pig socks and things like that, is still a divisive person, and people are going to have their own feelings. But to me, that's an example of just coming into this with an open mind and listening to somebody talk. You may walk away and still not agree, but at least hopefully you can have a calm, rational discussion without getting all heated and screaming at each other. And like, I'm going into this trying to beat into their head my point of view and how they see it and feel it. And my opinion on so many things has really shifted and changed. Every day I'm seeing something new. You know, it was crazy last night, just what odd timing. This is going to sound completely boring, but there was a documentary on the History Channel on Ulysses S. Grant. He was the general in charge of the Union when they beat the Confederates in the Civil War. I love Civil War. I love all this kind of boring stuff. But the important part about it was he became the president of the United States afterwards. And they talked about Reconstruction, which was so important because you had all these freed people. And Abraham Lincoln was killed a week after the Confederates' surrender. He would have been the right person to help out Reconstruction and to assimilate this now freed population into American society. The guy who took over for Lincoln did a terrible job with it. Ulysses S. Grant started to bring it back and started some of the right reforms. He got African Americans voting, and they were assimilating into society. Education was happening, all these things that you would have wanted to have seen right then and there. Ku Klux Klan, they come along. They start repressing the voting and striking fear. Ulysses S. Grant goes and fights the Klan, does all these kind of great things. But then when Ulysses S. Grant is out of office, things just kind of for 100 years don't improve. And that was such an important part of American history that just didn't happen. And so it kind of helped me understand that those kind of things should have been happening immediately. And we wouldn't be where we are today had we'd have a better plan and people would have been like, okay, you know what, we need to assimilate into this, and this is how society should be. So, you know, we paused everything for about 100 years before we got into it. So it was eye-opening to me, and those are a lot of discussions. And like I said, tomorrow at 1 o'clock, I'm going to have, you know, some of those kind of discussions for people who want to have them, where we're just going to tell some stories and where my thought is. And I'm hoping that I walk away with a lot better perspective, because every day I kind of understand things a little bit more, and it helps shape who I am and where my opinions are. And I know that there are arguments on both sides of this, and I think everybody needs to be heard, and it's going to take everybody doing the right thing, no matter what your race is. It's not just, and people made that point, it's not just about white people doing the right thing. You got to make sure everybody's in step, walking together, doing the right things. You know, we all got to be there together. There are people that aren't. People have sent in articles about that Rochester duo on radio that was fired. They made some comments that, yeah, out of bounds was the right move. They're gone.
I read what they said, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, guys, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
Radio DJs.
Not the right move.
Not the right move.
Also, this is kind of an interesting perspective. Becky sent this in. She said, ever since the coronavirus, my husband has been home, and what used to be Mommy's show is now our evening Mommy and Daddy time. We listen together while we make dinner, and the kids go in the other room to watch a show so we can hear. So yesterday, while listening to the race discussion, my husband says, pause it real quick. You want to know the only thing that's really going to unite humankind? Aliens. He said, you know, when the earth gets attacked, then all people will unite. He was very serious, and I agree. But I started laughing because he doesn't know that Jason has been saying this for years.
I really have, Ben.
You are pushing the Jaybird agenda, sir, without even knowing it.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, the interesting thing about this is think about different points, and I'm old enough to very vividly remember 9/11 and remember the tone of that. Everybody wanted American flags. They had ribbons on their car because we were, as a country, we'd been attacked, and we did. It brought America together. I'd never seen patriotism more rampant than I had after the attacks of 9/11. And there is something about that, yes, you do get together when everybody comes at you.
I thought for a second COVID was going to bring people together, but no, I don't think it did. I don't think COVID-19 at all brought people together. In fact, I kind of felt like COVID made things more divisive and divided.
It has been. I think we need to change the way that we try to get our points across. For some reason, it's become the way to just argue and yell at each other and insult one another, and nothing is being accomplished. All the comments that I read, no one is winning a Twitter war or a battle on social media with
people
a Facebook
think they
post.
win, though. That's just it.
But you
And
only
they're
really
not.
win when you listen and absorb and then try to figure it out. Like, if you just keep talking about your point and why your point is right and you don't hear anybody else's, it's like, okay, you're not really getting it.
And you were talking about it earlier, too. I think there's a way to talk about certain things. And I think when you're calling people out, no matter what you're talking about, you could be arguing about why pancakes are better than waffles. And as soon as you aggressively call somebody out, it starts to create an aggressive situation. And I just see so much of that on social media where someone just says like a snappy thing, and then somebody tries to either talk them down or just express a point, and then just nothing but snap, 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 fuck you. And to me, I just don't think that's going to do anything.
No, it's not. You don't think it's not. It's not doing anything. It hasn't done anything. It's been going on for years on social media, and it doesn't do anything. What does work is for you to everyone start out with the same goal, that we want to make America better and that we want to have liberty and justice for all. And if we can all come to that point, then just listen. And there may be some stuff where you want to speak. You ever had like, oh, I just got to speak now. Well, you know what? Suppress that and listen. Listen a little bit more. You'll get your turn. Shut up, sit down. You'll get your turn, and then you can speak your piece. And then maybe they will understand a little bit more. If you speak from your feelings and how you truly feel, and you are listening to somebody and you've got compassion and you want to have understanding, that's the right approach. And then we'd be like, okay, I never saw it that way, or I never thought of that way. And you, like I said, may still walk away disagreeing, but at least you may come away with a different perspective. Be like, okay, I see it a little bit differently now.
But going into a conversation, you have to have that flexibility of even wanting to just listen to somebody.
If you don't have that.
And again, I'm not even talking. Even if it's something just like a waffles, pancakes, and I'm talking about a very low, not a matters of the heart situation, you have to be willing to kind of be flexible. And if you're not, all there's going to be is just fighting. It always happens that way.
And that's the way it's going to be. And, the comment that you hear so often, it's so true. We don't see things the way they are. We see things the way that we are. And because of your cumulative experiences in your life, you're going to have a different prism and spectrum on how you see everything that is going on. But if you do open yourself up to somebody else's point of view, then you might have a different angle to look at a situation and understand.
Side note, am I the only one that wants waffles and pancakes now?
Waffles are better. I mean, if you're asking us to pick, waffles come with a custom-made butter cave. Each little square is the perfect receptacle for just the right amount of butter, and it should be filled to the top.
Fat Kevin, you have a dog in this fight?
Pancakes or waffles?
Fat Kevin.
I have gone typically with the pancakes just because I like them with chocolate chips and things like that are in there. But I see what you're saying about the syrup receptacles.
Syrup and butter. I'm not a syrup girl. I'm a butter mama.
That's the sexiest thing you've ever said.
Don't look at me like that ever again.
Butter mama, yes.
So anyway, thank you, Becky, and to your husband who now listens and loves the show. We appreciate
Yay,
that.
we love you.
What up,
Somebody else.
husband?
We need more husbands.
Yep. And I also want to say thanks. A lot of people are sending me some really good stuff, and I am trying to watch videos, and I am trying to go through the articles that you're sending me. Like I said, tomorrow, 1 o'clock live, but you'll be able to see it on demand. I'm going to have a discussion with my trainer a guy that he works with in the inner city of West Palm Beach, where he's trying to mentor kids and kind of help them and get them on the right path. And that is really a big part of it, is, getting these kids that don't have some of the same advantages, definitely not the advantages I had growing up where I did with, 2-parent household and everything else that went on. So I think we're going to have some good stories in that. So I'll probably bring some of those discussions into that. I also, too, wanted to give a shout-out real quick to LaToya Ratliff again. Saw her and her video, which is now out today, Sun Sentinel on the website. We got the email yesterday. Remember, she's a fan of my hair, a fan of Jaybird.
Yes. One
of our KVJ Nationers. Yeah, she was out peacefully protesting in Fort Lauderdale, and she took one of those foam rubber bullets right in her head. And the photo, it messed her up. That thing travels more than twice the speed of a Major League fastball.
Oh, my.
Speaking of Major League, did you see Dale Murphy's kid? My all-time favorite baseball player. His son was out protesting and got hit with one of those rubber bullets. And they showed the picture.
Yeah.
Those things can cause some damage, man. It split the eye area.
Is she okay? Is he okay?
I don't know about him.
No, her eye socket was fractured.
Oh.
Her eye started to swell shut. And it was tough.
So what does that mean for her eye? Is her eye going to be okay?
It seems like it'll heal from the story that I saw. At least they didn't say anything about it. But she's definitely got it. It's pretty gnarly.
That sucks.
What had happened. So
That's,
shout
you
out
said
to
that was
LaToya.
down in West Palm. You said that happened.
Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale.
Happened on Sunday. So part of that. I got an email here from Carmen. Said, just a fun fact, Tropical Storm Amanda was in the Pacific and went through Mexico. Now it is Tropical Storm Cristobal. This is the first transgender storm that I believe that we've had.
Is that real? Did it turn from Amanda into Cristobal? And Cristobal is a great name.
Yeah, it's Tropical Storm Cristobal now.
They say it's coming right for Louisiana. So Louisiana had a hot spot of COVID, Drew Brees' comments, and now a hurricane's coming.
Yeah, they got a lot of dirty in that town.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Yeah, they say it could strengthen to a hurricane before it arrives.
Yeah, it's not going to be like a badass, like a Cat 4 or anything, but they're saying right there on the cusp, 65, 75 mile per hour winds when it comes ashore.
Minimal sharks in the tornado.
Maybe late Sunday into Monday, but who knows? It's hard to tell with these things.
Yeah. It's just crazy. It is a little unnerving. This is the third named storm, I believe, that we've had already.
Cristobal, ABC, so yes.
And so third named storm, it is 4 days into hurricane season. We've had 3 named storms already. And they were just saying the last time, I think, typically when you have 3 named storms, you're usually towards the end of August.
Dang.
That's the thing that really sucks about the old hurricanes is they spawn off tornadoes too, which I feel like is so not fair.
I feel like life is handing us a lot right now.
If a tornado just a tornado, hurricanes now it's giving birth to tornadoes.
It's not fair.
It's bullshit. Come on, Mother Nature.
It's really not fair.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
It's weird. Tornadoes scare me more than a hurricane.
I agree. Because the hurricane, it's coming for a while. The tornado just goes, wow. You have 10 minutes that they know there's circulation, and you get literally a 10-minute warning. Sometimes if you're sleeping, you don't know at all.
An F5 tornado at 1 o'clock in the morning it's horrifying. Think about that. You can't see shit.
You're right.
I'm really painting that picture for you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm already holding on by a thread.
Sorry. I love watching tornado footage.
They freak me out. And those people that get in those vans and chase tornadoes, you different breeds.
I had a chance to do it.
I'm glad you didn't go.
Life isn't over yet. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. You never know what might happen.
It's the year of adventure, Virginia.
I don't know about
The year of
that.
adventure brought COVID. Shit.
Can you stop the year of adventure? I'm tired.
Got a fascinating email here from Mia. She said, hey, Kev, I was listening to yesterday's show, and you wanted to know, how many different IQ tests they have for dogs. Well, Stanley Coren has written a book called The Intelligence of Dogs, where he evaluated the levels of intelligence for many different breeds. The breed he deemed most intelligent was yours, Kevin, the Border Collie you used to have. And that was one of the reasons why I got a Border Collie, was just for that reason. You know, me, the old responsible Kev, I'd really researched the breed and knew what I was getting myself into. And I said, okay, are you up for that? Because they are active breeds. You don't do the dog any favor if you're just going to put him in a kennel all day.
And you were a good doggy owner. You kept him super active.
Oh, yeah.
You were super plugged in.
Yes, I was. Yeah, I didn't have any other kids to worry about. That was my kid when I had it. Least intelligent, he claimed, were the Shih Tzus, Bulldogs, etc.
Aww.
Okay. This is a test you can do with Coco, your Pomeranian, to evaluate her smarts. I tried it with my 3 dogs, and the results were hilarious and eye-opening. You take a can out of the recycling, something light that you can easily knock over, like your basic soup can. Put a really yummy smell treat under the upside-down can. I use pieces of hot dog. Let her watch you put it under the can, and then tell her to go get it and watch how she gets the treat. The level of intelligence is rated from 1 to 3. 3 being the smartest. Level 1 is if they just give up. Lay there and stare at it, waiting for you to grab for them. The approach my German Shepherd mix took was mind-boggling to me because they're incredibly smart dogs. Level 2 is if they use their nose to push the can off. My pit bull chose this route, which made sense to me because pit bulls are in that mid-range of intelligence. Level 3 is if the dog uses their paw to knock over the can, because this is the most efficient way to get the treat. I was shocked when my Chihuahua mix used this method, smacked the can right off and snagged the hot dog. Try it with Coco and let us know how dumb she really is. She just might surprise you, but my guess is she probably won't.
Well, what if it's not about dumb, it's just about hungry?
But I think it's
the
problem
approach.
solving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chewy, don't want to brag, but he's on the higher intelligence list. Yes. Australian Kelly. My breed is he's a smarter dog. A lot smarter than Coco.
A lot smarter than you.
Jeez.
Let me rip on Kevin's dog first, then you can rip on me.
I'm sorry.
You couldn't wait.
There's too much ripping going on here. I don't attack his dog, you'd attack me.
It flies around here fast.
No, I love Coco. Coco is precious.
She is.
I'm just kidding when I talk shit about Coco. I love me some Coco.
She is a lovely dog. She's a lot of fun. I really, that's the one thing. You know, I've met a lot of people that are assholes. I don't know that I've really met many dogs that are assholes. Most dogs are really pretty cool.
No, Bella.
Many.
Even before Bella. So Bella, if you don't know, she was a little mini pin that we had with my family back in the day. And before the big hurricane accident, when she lost her eye from Bandit, she was an asshole before that. I mean, I can't tell you how many times she bit Denny's.
She lost her eye being an asshole.
She lost her eye being an asshole because during one of the hurricanes, we were out of power, and Bandit, who is the sweetest dog, was just minding his own business, and Bella just kept on fucking just trying to bite him and doing all kinds of shit. And he finally snapped and grabbed Bella with his mouth, and it was horrific.
Oh my gosh.
Ripped her eye out.
Ann and my mom freaking out.
Yeah.
In the middle of a hurricane with no power. That was awesome.
Terrible time to have that happen.
That's your tornado.
Oh my God.
That's an F5.
That's one of those things where someone says, it can't get any worse. Like, shut the fuck up. Yes, it can.
You don't know my life.
I've seen worse.
Yes.
Yeah, people love their dogs. 77% of dog owners say walking their dog has been the highlight of their day during quarantine.
Aww.
It is one of my favorite things to do. And I'm real. Someone asked me, how long does Chewy walk for because he's older? Chewy, on a good day, it'll be 30 minutes when I get home from work and then 30 minutes in the evening. So he does about an hour.
Really?
If he's most days when he's up for it, for sure.
Okay.
They say you can walk your dogs very late into their life. People think, they're old, they don't want to go walk. Most of the times they do.
Yeah.
It feels like it's good for them.
It is.
It keeps everything moving.
Totally.
It's good for all of us.
I mean, again, if your dog can't walk, don't force your dog to walk. I don't have to mansplain that, do I?
It's mansplaining dog walking. What is the TV show you most regret watching?
True Blood, HBO. Sick. I'm so mad that I finished the whole series. I didn't like it.
That is tough. That's why I really try to do a little research before I jump into a show to get an idea of, all right, is it strong every single season? Is there a season that's not as great? How am I going to feel when the whole thing's over with? There are some shows where I'm like, let the finale roll because, like, for instance, Game of Thrones. If I were going back to that, I really enjoyed the ride, but it was so unsatisfying at the end. And it was one of those shows that really needed it because it was, to me, Game of Thrones was all about the conclusion. Because I just remember, like, where's this going to go? Where's this? And it was just
It's who gets the throne, right?
Yes. And so it's ultimately, the show has built until this final answer, and you want to be satisfied with that. And the way the show made you feel for like 6 seasons, you felt very satisfied that you're like, I know I'm going to love the conclusion of this. And if somebody were asking me now, I'd be like, would you watch Game of Thrones? I'm not sure I would enthusiastically endorse it. It would at least come with the asterisk of saying, I loved it, and the last season, unfortunately, just left me wanting more, and it wasn't great. So there's a lot of time investment there.
I would recommend someone to watch it, even with the shitty ending, because I really did not like the last season. The season before, I thought was a fantastic season for Thrones. I thought they did such a good job.
You guys were raving.
Remember the dragons and shit fighting, and it was amazing.
It was absolutely amazing. No, it was great. But just where it leaves you, you know, I look at a show like Bloodline that I loved. It was shot in the Keys, and it was great, and the acting was amazing. The characters were fantastic. And I remember the end of season 2. I'm like, I can't wait to find out where they're going to go with this. And then it got rushed, and they did this third season that just was confusing and not satisfying. It's all the time you spend leading up to that. That if somebody were asking me, going, 2 amazing seasons, the third was so bad, I don't know if I would bother with it. And I kind of regret, because there's so many other great things to watch. In fact, right now, I'm overwhelmed by my Netflix. I'm overwhelmed by the movies that I haven't seen. And people are going, you never seen them? I'm like, no, I haven't. And I realized, yes, I should get to that.
I remember back in the day, I was probably 23, and I'd just broken up with this girl. She'd broken up with me, and I was very, very sad.
What's her name?
Her name was actually Amanda.
Amanda.
Yes, and I was so depressed, and I ended up staying in bed for a whole day and watched. MTV was running this block scheduling of nothing but my sorority life. It was about the sorority, and I watched every episode. Amanda. And I remember the final episode aired after I watched it for like 24 hours. I go, what the fuck did I just watch? I was so mad at myself.
Right,
that I watched every episode.
You've wasted a lot of time.
I came at it, I think, even more depressed.
Yeah. I don't want to do that.
No, it wasn't. I don't recommend it.
That's why, I'm trying to ask. I know on Dexter, I felt like I did that right. I jumped off of the series at a time that I liked it. I'm glad that I watched it. I've got no regrets on that. I'm kind of starting to dabble into Shameless, but people have told me there's like 9 seasons of complete dysfunction, so I'm kind of breaking it up because I feel like I can deal with a little dabble of dysfunction, but you get too much, then you're like going, okay, what am I doing?
There's certain series after I finish, like a Narcos. I had to take sorry, Virginia. Sorry.
You spilled our White Claw.
Sorry. I don't even.
Hands over here.
Sorry, I just your files.
Hamburger hands. Oh my all my copy for my commercial.
I don't even remember what I was saying. It wasn't that good anyway.
Okay, great. Awesome moment there.
Awesome moment.
Thanks for your contributions. There's the door.
I told you it wasn't very good at radio. I blame Kevin. He hired me.
Mm-hmm. Shows that you can only watch in little things. I'm doing Curb Your Enthusiasm. I find the same thing with that because it's a lot of the same every episode.
You're going to get burned on that.
Well, I'm doing it in small, like I'll watch an episode or 2 here, maybe in a weekend, and I'm going through it slowly. To me, it's not a real bingeable show. And if I were doing a write-up on it, I've enjoyed it. I think it's amusing. But I wouldn't want to sit there and watch 4 hours of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Were there other shows where you could sit there and easily do that?
Denny's is coming in. Clean up aisle 4, Denny's.
Thanks, Mijo. I appreciate it. You know me.
You might need 2 more napkins.
Hamburger hands.
He's a big spiller. Denny's came in here with 1 napkin.
Thanks, Denny's.
You don't know your boy.
Mm-hmm.
Quit stirring shit up over there. Why don't you listen to what Kevin has to say? I I was into it, Kevin.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Until she interrupted you.
Yeah. Some people in the chat room were saying The Wire is a show. Started off great, had a good couple seasons, and then it just...
I almost went into that one. I watched the first episode. Sometimes you get maybe I'm not mentally there, and I got to be prepared to go into a series right. There's nothing else going on because I do that a lot. I watch the first or two episodes, and then I'm out.
Yeah, I won't stay with it. That's the thing about me. If it sucks, I just drop off. Like True Blood, there's no way I was sticking with that. It got dumb.
Suck it.
It got really dumb, and I was like, peace, bye.
It did make me want to be a vampire, though.
In the beginning.
In the beginning, it made me... And I feel like I would have been able to control my urges. I don't think I would have murdered anybody. I don't think.
Maybe me.
You're right.
I think I got Peaky Blinders on deck for my next big project.
I've heard of this.
Yes, it's on Netflix. It's like a Irish gang or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. I've heard good things, so I think I'm going to try that out.
I'm going to watch the that Steve Carell one. I haven't checked it out yet. Someone was asking me if I've seen it. I have not seen it yet.
They already greenlit the second season of it, and I did see a text that came in earlier that somebody said that it was oddly boring.
Well, I thought you had a write-up about how shitty it was and people weren't liking it.
They just couldn't believe that they had Steve Carell and the writers that they had, and they put out this product. You're like going, what happened? So I'm not hearing really anything good about it. So
damn it, Virginia.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So I guess we'll see. But I always love your suggestions because I do all the stuff that people tell me. I'm like going, cool. I wind up getting into shows because of that. So thank you very much.
I'm going to throw Jumanji in the mix this weekend and see what the kids do. I know you highly recommend it for the kids.
I know you're about to hit the button to leave.
Go for it.
Real quick question. I suggested Gremlins for a kid's movie. Is that too over the top? The kid is 9. Is the movie Gremlins too over the top for a 9-year-old?
I tried to show it to Rocco, and he had a meltdown.
He's 3.5.
He's about to be 5.
He's 5. Damn it. I'm not good with numbers or perception or details. He's going to be 5? Holy shit, man. Where's the time gone?
He's going to be 5 in a month.
He's a half a decade old?
Yep.
Kevin. Oh, my gosh.
Can you believe it?
I can't.
Uh-huh.
My anniversary is Tuesday. I'm about to be married 8 years.
Wow. Haven't seen that movie in about 30 years, so I really can't tell you.
I hear you. All right. I'm glad I stopped the podcast for that.
Yeah. Well worth it. All right, y'all. Have a great Thursday, Friday, and the weekend is almost here.
Friday.
Yeah, we'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. We'll see you then. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.